lame. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and power your buys and tries the right way, or de-stress with some cardio. The choice is yours. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Michelle Smallman here for the Capital One Venture X card. If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, you can earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary travel. And you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book through Capital One Travel. Plus, you'll get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Coming up on Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we'll be joined by Alabama gymnast Kylie Kwame.
There's possibilities of me competing for the Philippines and like Korea, so.
Well, that's an awesome opportunity. Well, best of luck coming up with all that. Before we let you go, just what message would you give to the fans before they come back to Coleman Coliseum this weekend, watch you all perform? What do you hope they get to see?
I hope they see us dominate and take charge, and I also hope they see how much work has been put in to also even just getting them there to be put in regionals and be in that seat to actually go to nationals and things like that.
Is there a lot of motivation, too, just to give these seniors kind of the send-off they deserve? Yes. We've had senior night already, but this is truly when it gets towards the end of the year. You never know what could be the last meet.
Yeah, really. I've said it over and over, but I don't want it to be Lily's last vault. I need her to stick it one more time, and hopefully they give that done to her. So
I'll have more in a moment.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Join us tonight for Crimson Tide baseball against Samford. First pitch from Sewell Thomas Stadium is scheduled for 6 p.m. with radio coverage across the network at 5:45 p.m. Central. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
We're back. We're live. We're brand new. We are ready to go. Thanks to Talon Heating and Air. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Their talent can work for you each and every day. 256-503-4490. Let them do the work for you. They've got solutions to fit your needs. They got package systems, heat pumps, mini split systems. You can give Thomas, Terry, and Jeremy a call. How about that? 40 years of combined experience. It's Talent Heating and Air giving us the talent to get started this morning. 256-503-4490. Give them a call. You can give us a call here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines this morning. You can give us a call. We're going to continue to get you set for the Final Four. And if people are sitting at home, Drew, and they really pay attention to this, good. If not, well, so be it. The NCAA has set the 11 officials for this weekend's Final Four. And they will each there's going to be 3 on each game and 2 on standby. A couple of the names worth noting here. Doug Shows is part of the officiating crew. And Doug Shows has a love-hate relationship with a lot of college basketball fans. But the other name on the list is James Breeding. And everybody is probably going, who the heck is James Breeding? James Breeding was the official during the Auburn-Virginia game that called the 3-point foul at the end of the game to give Virginia the free throws to win the ball game.
Well, that was a good call. You're forgetting the one that they missed.
The travel call?
The double dribble.
Yeah. Don't know, but he was on the crew for that game against Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the 3-point foul was a good call. Took a lot of guts, but they missed the one before that. That's the one that's the real bone of contention, just like they missed Chris Webber traveling, even though it didn't really matter because he called the timeout they didn't have. And Dean Smith still won his second and last national championship. So that one worked out.
Is that still one of the greatest? I don't want to call it blunder, but is that still one of the greatest mishaps in tournament history?
Yeah, because they were telling them when they were coming out of the huddle that they had no timeout. So, but see, Chris Webber got paid $600,000 before NIL to come to Michigan. So it is what it is.
I think a lot of those guys did.
Oh yeah, ain't no question. I mean,
would you rather have the NIL or would you rather have teams paying players under the table?
I think it's better to make it public. But I think there needs to be a cap on it, and I think there needs to be length of contract, and I think there needs to be, if you ain't practicing, if you're dogging it, if you're trying to go under the LeBron James. From this point forward on the show, LeBron James is code for load management. If you're a fraud, then there's got to be a way to find somebody and stop their check.
Right. Right.
Because this fully guaranteed BS is crap. You've got to earn your money. So. And I think, again, that's why they need to cap it. There needs to be a cap on what you can make as a freshman. And then if you play better, you certainly can the first 2 years, then you can get more money.
Well, they're saying right now it's about $2 million, $2.5 million to get some of the top players out of the portal.
There was a high-profile player, do that with what you want, that committed to Louisville yesterday. And I think he got 1.5. It was his package and with perks. Let's just put it that way.
Bonuses.
Yeah. So, and I mean, and he's never played a minute of Power 4 basketball, and he was an outstanding player.
He got 1.5.
Yeah. So this is it's ridiculous right now. I mean, Jeff Goodman reported yesterday from the Field of 68 that some of these free agents, I guess that's what they're called. I mean,
that's basically what you are. You put your name in the portal.
Yeah.
You're a free agent.
$2.5 to $3 million because they know that the revenue sharing is coming and they're trying to get as much as they can.
Yes.
And I mean,
they're trying to beat the settlement, the House settlement from the NCAA and Congress and all that. They're trying to beat it. These agents are trying to beat it. So they're trying to expedite these deals.
There's only a few schools that might even consider doing that. I mean, even North Carolina wouldn't do it to a certain degree last year. So I don't think they'll get that much. And then look, we already talked about it. Like a school like Kansas State, they had one of the highest payrolls in the country, and no, they didn't even make the NCAA tournament.
Alabama does get a piece out of the portal yesterday, though.
Yeah, it was a
7-footer.
It was a big one, literally and figuratively. To me, he basically is taking Grant Nelson's place, and that this is Noah Williamson from Bucknell, 7 foot, 250 pounds, 17 points, 7 rebounds. about 3 blocks a game. He was the Patriot League Player of the Year. He's originally from Latvia. He played the last 3 years at Bucknell, and so he's an outstanding player. He was the Patriot League Player of the Year, and he had a lot of high major interest. I think Kansas was very interested in him, and Bill Self, because they're having to retool, and that's another a story of a flop. I mean, they made the NCAA tournament, but they weren't nearly as good as people thought they were going to be. And so, again, he had Ohio State interested. He had a lot of – but let's put it this way. Nate Oates, Preston Murphy, they're sharp people. I mean, pretty much they landed around lunchtime on Sunday coming back from from the regional from Newark, New Jersey. And this guy was already there pretty much, was going to visit the campus and was there Sunday into yesterday. And I had heard it was going very, very well. And they've already identified as we've already during this journey this year, we talked about Preston Murphy getting a contract amended and doubling his salary. And basically Nick I knew I'd do that. That Nate Oates is said he's the general manager of Alabama basketball. So he and Nate work very closely together, and they have a very good idea of who's staying, who's leaving. And, of course, they have the exit meetings and they're negotiating with their own players, but they know what they need and the positions that they're pursuing. And we knew that with Cliff Amore also leaving, that Alabama's of course, you're losing Mark Sears, who's on Mount Rushmore of Alabama basketball, but you're losing Grant Nelson and Cliff Amore.
Right.
I mean, you're losing – and Chris Youngblood. You're losing –
Nas Cunningham put his name in the portal.
Well, he played as much as I did.
I know.
University of Alabama. Now, we saw him play against Memphis, and he played maybe 1 or 2 minutes. And then they wanted to redshirt him to get him stronger. But in this climate of college basketball, if you're at a Power 4 school and they redshirt you and you're not injured, I would say 90+% of the time you're probably going to bounce and go somewhere else because they didn't think you were good enough to get in the rotation. And I know some Alabama, sources said that they thought he was going to be a future NBA player. But at the same time, you look at your roster, who do you potentially bring back? Who have you got interested? And I'm sure he could have earned a role, but I don't think they saw him as close to a starter, or I don't think he would have left so quickly. I think it's one of those things where you recruit him, you put him in the mix, you realize, okay, this kid needs some time. He's not ready yet. And you're helping out the kid, honestly, because you didn't sit there and play him, like a walk-on, like 2 minutes per game when you're blowing somebody out, or 5 minutes a game. They redshirted him. He kept his eligibility. So he's going to go somewhere else and restart. And that's what's going to happen most of the time when you bring these, at least because he's considered still a top 50 recruit. Cunningham.
Right.
So with that kind of reputation, he's going to want to, at the worst, preserve his eligibility. And so they did it with him. And last year they did it with Chris Parker. And Chris Parker, transferred. I thought he was going to leave in the middle of the season. He stayed till the end. He quickly went in the portal like Nas. He committed to Butler first and then ended up at Villanova. And I didn't check his stats the whole season, but let's put it this way. I think he averaged 2 or 3 points. And so he's probably going to be back in the transfer portal. And so is Nick Pringle, who left Alabama. He's back in the transfer portal. I don't know where he's going to wind up.
Rylan Griffin. Rylan Griffin from Kansas is in the portal. And now I read the other day that there was some speculation that there might be a reunion between Alabama and Rylan Griffin.
All I'll say about it is it completely off the table? I would say no. Is it likely at this point? I would also say no.
Right.
So, I mean,
so you're saying no.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not saying it's an impossibility, okay?
Right.
I'm leaving myself some wiggle room, but there'd have to be some things that happened. And again, Ryland's numbers basically fell off by 50% by going to Kansas. I think he got a really nice NIL payout that's probably ending about now. I don't know, ending at the end of the semester, whatever you want to say. But he went from nearly 12 points per game at Alabama to 6 at Kansas, okay? It just didn't work out. Now, to me, especially since he recruited him and people like that, he looks to like I would look more, instead of looking at a situation where he's returning to Alabama, I would look at a couple of guys that, especially one that was there when they recruited him, and that's one Brian Hodgson, who just took the job at South Florida.
Yeah.
I could see Rylan Griffin going and playing for him in that system because it's exactly the same. Or Ryan Pannone, he's going to need players because there was yet another that we haven't brought up yet that went back in the portal, Sam Walters. But he's about as good a defensive player as you and I. That's the problem. Great kid, but he can't guard a lamppost.
If you throw in walk-ons and all that stuff, there's over 1,600 basketball players in the portal right now. So there's a lot of names. Well, there's a lot of names to try to keep up with. It's dizzying at times, and there's going to be a lot of expectations with a few of these guys on where they're going to go. People are going to try to guess. They're going to speculate. But a lot of these teams are trying to get out in front of it.
Yeah,
it's all going to come down to money. It's all going to come down to who's going to pay what the kid wants or what the agent is demanding. And then you have the Final Four teams that are trying to concentrate on basketball and the portal going on at the same time.
Put in there.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
it's like the hokey pokey.
Well, a little bit. Well, speaking of skate centers, but Sam Walters, I was bringing him up because he transferred from Bama to Michigan under Dusty May.
Right.
And he basically did the same thing he did at Alabama, 4 or 5 points a game, 1 or 2 rebounds, had a couple bright moments, but didn't have a spot in the rotation. And for me, he rolled the dice at Alabama. They signed him out of high school. He went to Michigan, another high major program. I thought a good move for him to try to reset, but I think it's obvious that the kid's a mid-major player, and it's no disrespect, but he needs to move down, and move down to the mid-major level. Probably won't make as much in NIL, but you'll get your education and you'll still play basketball. So a guy it's another situation, a guy that recruited him, that really liked him out of high school, that just kind of discovered him and then sold him to NATO, Antoine Petway.
Oh yeah.
He's losing players in the portal. You could, go
with UAB too, Andy Kennedy.
Yeah,
they have one of the top 2 players in the portal right now in Alabama. I mean, there's a lot of interest for that young guy.
Yeah, he was player of the year in the American Athletic Conference. And so he's a multi-dimensional guy. Alabama's reached out, but I was told yesterday to watch Auburn. I think, and he's also declaring for the draft. So he's going to go through the draft process and see. But, because look, we all know once this journey ends for Auburn, win national championship or not,
right,
they're going to lose a ton of guys. I mean, we think that Chad Baker Rodman might end up, back with the team because I don't think he's a pro yet, and he has another year of eligibility. And then you've got then Denver Jones. I would venture to guess he doesn't have another year, but you never know. And if I'm Bruce Pearl, I'm going to try my dangest because he's a quality player. And he would be a guy you'd have back that you could build around. So those are 2 guys where it's unknown, but Jonai.
Oh, he did it yesterday again too, by the way.
The same guy?
Yeah. No, our guy.
Okay.
He might be leaning into it at this point. I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, is it become a parody by now?
I don't think so. If you listen to the interview, there's no parody to it. If you listen to the interview, if you listen to it and again, yes.
Well, Jonai Broom is gone. Dylan Cardwell is gone. Dylan Cardwell can almost apply for Social Security at this point. But he's had a hell of an Auburn career. He'll be gone, and Miles Kelly will be gone.
Right.
Now, the other 2, we'll see. Denver's had one hell of a year. I'm proud of him. Proud he's representing the 256, but that's kind of murky, I guess, is all I could say. Now, I think Bruce Pearl has already gone on record as saying that Chad Baker Mazzara had a year that they could go back and get. So, again, and then Chris Moore is also another one that will have to move on. I mean, he's been around. And then our guy, Chaney Johnson, but correct me if I'm wrong, but Chaney never went to junior college.
No,
so
he did not.
I would think Chaney would be done as well. I mean, this is a very old Auburn team, so they're going to have to completely reboot. Now, they're a very high-profile program. They've done probably some of the best work in the transfer portal. Bruce Pearl and his staff have kind of mastered it. So it's going to be an interesting reboot for Auburn, and I'm sure they'll be in the mix, for a lot of great players.
All right, 7:16 on a Tuesday morning. Got to get a break in. When we come back, we will switch it to the Final Four. Some interesting numbers there from the four in San Antonio. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Bobby Champagne, Director of Basketball Operations for the Houston Cougars, will join us as the Cougs are headed to the Final Four. They got a challenge with Duke, and we'll get to your phone calls as well. All that and more. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got one wreck showing on the board now, westbound 565 at County Line. They are reporting that one as an injury type. Everything else is in good order this morning. Traffic moving along nicely. You could win a 2025 Buick Encore at the annual Bloomin' Festival Art and Craft Fair, April 5th and 6th, adjacent to Ave Maria Grotto in Coleman, with over 150 artists and craftsmen, great food, music, and more. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at SensaGreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Pandas season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Pandas season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's the Proclaimers. I'd walk 500 miles to you. I think this is a one-hit wonder for the Proclaimers.
Yeah, this really is.
Oh, that is. Good song, though, by the way.
Right.
If you're going to have a one-hit wonder, you might as well at least get your money's worth out of it.
I mean, this is one of those songs where you think the guy that's singing it's got some kind of, like, I don't know, like one of those goofy-looking hats on.
Right.
Yeah.
Men that wears, what is it, Men at Work?
Or something like that, yeah. Like a rectangular hat on.
So the Final Four teams will be headed to San Antonio later in the week. And it's kind of interesting because I've looked at the basketball championship stats. These are just stats compiled through the tournament, not the regular season. So far in the tournament, Duke has the number one scoring offense at 91.8 points per game, per tournament game.
Right.
Houston has the number one scoring defense.
Not surprising.
At 56.5 points a game.
We've got a clash of the Titans coming up.
We do.
Who can establish themselves and who can take control of the game and basically and push their style on the other. In other words, can Houston slow it down,
right,
or can Duke speed them up? That's kind of what it looks like. Even though Duke is more of a half-court team, but they're more high-powered offensively than Houston. Though Houston, as I've said before, is a much better shooting team, I think, than they have been the last couple under Kelvin Sampson. That's one of the reasons why they're back in the Final Four. But tremendous matchup between these two.
Scoring margin, Duke is number one. They've beaten opponents by 23.5 points. Yeah. Houston is number two. Auburn is number three. And Florida is number five.
Well, everybody know. Well, yeah. I mean, hell, Florida's had to get. They needed onions a couple of times from Michael Clayton. I mean,
right.
I knew I'd do that. Michael Clayton played for LSU football. I mean, Walter Clayton Jr. Walter Clayton a couple times with just unbelievably tough shots. Has made big shots against UConn and Grant McCaslin in Texas Tech. So I mean, Florida's had to get by. Now we'll talk to Kevin Brockway tomorrow before he goes to the Final Four and get his thoughts on these Gators, because he's uniquely qualified to talk about it because he's covered them for a long time. He saw Billy Donovan Zenith,
right?
And I'm going to flat ask him, because Billy had great players. We all know that, but is Walter Clayton as good as any guard that's ever played at Florida? And so that's what I'm saying. He much like what Mark Sears established for himself in his 3 years in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, becoming the number 2 scorer all time for the Crimson Tide. Walter Clayton, I mean, how do you fill his shoes? I mean, that kid's gotten better every year and played, 3 years at Florida. I mean, he's been tremendous.
One of the biggest concerns for Bruce Pearl and his Auburn Tiger team, and if you watch the game on Saturday against Michigan State, every time they went to the free throw line, you kind of just held your breath.
Yeah, they were
because they've been Auburn right now, as far as the tournament goes, they are 50th in the tournament at free throw percentage at 63.7% from the free throw line.
They need 3 people to shoot free throws, and that's Denver Jones,
right?
Chad Baker-Mazara, and basically
maybe Miles Kelly.
I was going to say Miles Kelly would be the third.
Yeah.
But really those first 2, they need to be the ones down the stretch of games with the ball in their hand shooting free throws, because
they've attempted the second most free throws in this whole entire tournament. Only Florida has attempted more free throws than Auburn. Florida has attempted 115 free throws in this tournament. They're shooting 78%. They've made 90 free throws as the Florida Gators. Auburn has attempted 91 and only made 58 free throws this entire tournament. That is a huge discrepancy between the two teams right there. Florida is going to want to get to the line on Saturday. They're going to want to shoot free throws. Auburn has to keep them off the line. And if you're Florida, if you send Auburn to the line, that might not be a bad thing.
Well, and then Jonai Broom.
What?
Yeah. Jonai has struggled from the line. Yeah. Not Jedi. That's what I thought I heard in the break. I don't know.
We're hearing all kinds of different names now. Janai Broom.
Yeah, that's what it is. Jonai Broom has been struggling from the line too.
He has.
He's a 59% free throw shooter. Yet he's still dangerous enough to make a three with an injured elbow. But he was definitely struggling down the stretch shooting free throws.
Dylan Cardwell sent one the other night that was just like a missile.
Yeah,
towards the line. I'm like, my goodness.
Dylan has never been able to shoot them.
No,
I mean, now when he makes them, that's why it's like a party. I mean, and it's just being honest. He's a brick mason when it comes to shooting free throws. And so Chaney Johnson is pretty decent. I mean, he's not great. I think he shoots in the 60s, like high 60s. So Chaney is not a bad free throw shooter. But you're right. If there's a weakness for Auburn, their free throw shooting in a close game could be a factor. So,
all right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. Just some minutes. It's always fun to look at those numbers and see who has.
I think I know it was. I think it was Jahani, wasn't it? That's the one we were talking about.
Jahani. Yeah, we're at Jahani today.
The more you guys joke around about it, the weirder the name's going to sound whenever it comes out of your mouth.
It does. That's the thing, though. We're hearing.
No, I've got it. It's Jonai. I'm not screwing it up. I mean,
we're hearing all kinds of different pronunciations from one guy.
Tunga Vailoa, because trust me, when he first signed with Alabama, boy, I had to work on that for a good while before I could roll that one off. And
I'm surprised Tom was able to get Iamaliava on.
Did he nail that one?
I'm pretty sure he was able to nail that one.
I had to work on
it. But at some point, just say the big guy Broom. Big guy Broom.
Well, no, but here's the guy. Here's the thing. I'll never forget us having, and we love it. I mean, Vince Ferrara is as good as there is in the business.
Right.
He was struggling with Iamaliava. Even worse. I mean, I had it down, and he was on the show.
Iamaliava.
Yeah, Nico Iamaliava.
See, once you get it to roll off the tongue,
and then I'm going
to
give
rolls
a shout
off
out
the tongue.
to Clemson Insider. That's how I've mastered Ui Ungalele. Because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be Unga Bunga. I'm going to screw this up. I had to sit there and just listen to it for 10 minutes straight. Ui Ungalele. Okay,
I still messed that one up.
Well, Houston has a couple names too that can trip you up.
Probably so.
We got to get a break in because when we come back, speaking of Houston, they, as we mentioned,
we're not going to mess up Champaign.
Well, no, we will not mess up Champaign, but Champaign will mess you up.
I hope not. I don't want to piss him off.
That's what I was thinking.
You were thinking something from a Prince song.
No, Champagne will mess you up.
Well, it could, but I don't drink.
There we go. Bobby Champagne. Barely.
Some people would think, how the hell is that possible? You sound like you're drunk on the air.
I'm better than sounding like a smoker. Anyway, we got to get a break in. Bobby Champagne, Houston Cougars, joins us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A warm night across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be quite warm. Temperatures consistently climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. We're also talking about scattered showers and thunderstorms. Today's not going to be a complete wash, only dropping into the mid and upper 60s as we head into the overnight, maintaining the opportunity for a couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Much the same as we head into your Thursday. A mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures consistently climbing into the lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. I'm home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Panda season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Panda season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered just for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove and soon in Newmarket.
Got one wreck showing on the board now, westbound 565 at County Line. They are reporting that one as an injury type. Everything else is in good order this morning. Traffic moving along nicely. You could win a 2025 Buick Encore at the annual Bloomin' Festival Art and Craft Fair, April 5th and 6th, adjacent to Ave Maria Grotto in Coleman, with over 150 artists and craftsmen, great food, music, and more. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
That feels like a Miami Vice episode. Bon Jovi bringing it back. Yeah. Defense wins championships, right? That's what they always say. Culture. Defense wins championships. The Houston Cougars right now in the NCAA tournament have the best scoring defense, 56.5 points. The next best scoring defense in teams that are still playing in the tournament belongs to the Auburn Tigers at number 7, giving up just 65.5 points. But Houston leads the way.
Yes, and they usually do. And if you want a team built on toughness, culture, accountability, there's no one better that does that with their basketball program than Kelvin Sampson. And for the third time, our next guest has worked for him both at Washington State, at Oklahoma, and now as the director of basketball operations and strategy. We talked to him last week. We're talking to him this week. You know what that means?
It means they're still alive.
Yes, they're still playing. Dancing at the Final Four for the 7th time. And we're honored to be joined now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline by Bobby Champagne as the Houston Cougars will take on the Duke Blue Devils on Saturday night for a shot to be playing on Monday for the whole shebang in the national championship. And he's joining us now this morning. Coach, congratulations on the championship, the regional title, and the Final Four berth. Welcome back to Huntsville. How are you?
Huntsville, how are you? I'm doing great, man. Great to be on. Like you said, it means we're still playing, so that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, that was a heck of a defensive performance
as good as
there against Tennessee. I mean, when you guys come off that floor inside Lucas Oil and you look up at the scoreboard and you see 15 points next to Tennessee's
talking about
name,
throwing the first punch.
I mean, yeah, that's a heck of a first half, Coach.
Yeah, we really got after them. We with one day prep, it was kind of hard to get what we normally do on a game day preparation, but our guys were really locked in. I mean, we basically played 2 road games in Indianapolis. There was 25,000 Purdue fans there the night before and about 20,000 Tennessee fans for the final. So it was a great first half. It really kind of felt, Tennessee's got a great team, and they, obviously didn't play great, but I think we had something to do with it. But it kind of felt like one of our non-conference games where we held several opponents under 20 points in the first half.
I'm going to tell you what, and we talked to Bill Armstrong yesterday, who's now gone to McNeese State, and of course he competed against you in the Big 12, and we asked him about competing against Houston and then of course coaching against Duke, and he said, what do you want to talk about? That they beat the hell out of us? But I mean, he gave you guys a lot of kudos with the way you play, and wow, I mean, to hold them to 15 points, because I thought Tennessee was playing at a very high level and you guys just took them out of everything they like to do.
Yeah, we did, and the night before against Kentucky, they really did play well. They played with a lot of toughness, and they took Kentucky out of everything that they wanted to do, especially in the first half. So our guys got a chance to see that. We played the late game there, and it was about 2:00 before we got back to our hotel, and really got locked in on Gainey and Chase Lanier and Zakai Ziegler, and made it really tough for them to be able to run the offense that they wanted to run. And more importantly, when they shot and missed it, we didn't allow them to get a second chance point or second chance opportunity in the first half. So that was a big key. And we did most of that without J1 Roberts in the game.
Right.
He picked up two fouls at about the 16-minute mark. So Javier Francis and Terrence Arsenault really came off the bench, did a great job.
You mentioned playing 2 road games up there in Indianapolis. I guess the script now is flipped. You go to San Antonio for the Final Four. I would anticipate a rather large Houston contingent now making the way to the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, a couple years ago, we played the Sweet 16 Elite 8 there. We played Arizona and Villanova, and we had a lot of Cougar faithful there. The Final Four is a little bit different. Tickets are a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah.
I'm scrambling to try and find some tickets for my family right now. I just don't have $2,000 for a obstructed view seat.
Good night.
It's kind of crazy. But
how many do they give you guys? How many do they give you guys to get in?
Well, it's in Alabama, so our people won't hear this. I got 4 tickets and bought 2 and had to buy 2 tickets. I'm still, I got 4 kids, so I'm still looking for a couple. So if you know anybody that's got some, let me know.
Yes, sir. We'll try to help you out with that. But I know the staff is super excited. I could tell how locked in Kelvin Sampson was when he got a genius question from was he worried about basically playing 2 road games, and he said no. I like the answer. And you told us y'all were 13-0 on the road going into the weekend.
Yeah, we coach stays focused on the task and takes all the outside noise out and really doesn't pay any attention to that kind of stuff. It's not that he doesn't know that there were 20,000 Purdue fans there, and that basically we had 2 SEC officials on the game in Tennessee. He knows all that stuff, but he's not going to let that stuff bother him, and he's going to worry about coaching his team and getting it going. The fact that we shot like 2 free throws up until the last 4 minutes of the game, he didn't let that bother him either. He just kind of kept coaching his team and kept trying to get our guys to do what we normally do, defend, rebound, and take care of the basketball.
And now you look ahead to this Final Four matchup, and it's a contrast of styles. I mean, Duke Duke loves to score, one of the highest scoring, if not I think they're the highest scoring offense so far in the tournament. You guys Houston has the best scoring defense in the tournament so far. It's a clash of styles.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the biggest factor with them is guarding Cooper Flagg. Obviously, you're not going to stop him. You gotta hope he doesn't go off on a 30-point game. And It's not that they've done a great job of getting guys that surround him and complement him very well. And so we can't just focus on Cooper Flagg. We got to focus on their other guys as well. We played them last year in Dallas, and if we make a couple free throws, we advance to the Elite Eight. But Shed got hurt the first half, and then we weren't able to hang on to the lead because we missed some free throws late. And both of us have different teams this year. They don't have Roach. We don't have Shed. They've got Flagg. We picked up Milo Suzanne. So it'll be interesting. This is Coach's third Final Four, and Shire's first in his third year. So tremendous accomplishment by both of these head coaches.
It is, and I think it's the 7th overall for the Houston Cougars. And the good thing is, Coach, the way the brackets fall, if you're going to have to beat a team like Duke to win it, but you get a full week or so to prepare for these guys instead of having a one-day prep for them.
Yeah, it's a little bit like our routine the last probably 3 or 4 weeks of the season, heading into the Big 12 tournament, where we were able to take not take Sunday off because we played, but we had yesterday off, and then today we'll get going with prep for Duke, and tomorrow afternoon we'll hop on a bus and drive 215 miles to San Antonio, get there tomorrow afternoon, and then kind of get ready. There's a whole bunch of different things that we've got to do to take care of the media. And it's amazing. They give us 50 minutes to practice, but we've got an hour and 45 minutes of interviews in the Alamo Dome. So it's not really, they don't really focus on basketball as much as you would think. You'd think that we get to practice a little bit more in the Alamo Dome instead of walking around from one interview to the next, but that's kind of what we do. Got to pay those sponsors.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I was just going to ask you, how different then is the Final Four versus going to these regional games during the regular season, kind of behind the curtain stuff, so to speak, when it comes to getting to the Final Four? We know a lot about how the college football playoff work, the demand, the press conferences and everything. How does it work for the Final Four?
It's the regionals, the first and second round, and the regional finals are very similar, but it's just another added layer of interviews, another added layer of exposure. There's 2 or 3 different things that we've got to attend and take the players to. And if you've ever been to a Final Four, it's the Final Four takes over the city. So us getting around the city with a police escort in a bus that's wrapped in Houston Cougar logo is going to be kind of crazy. But we're going to be staying close downtown at the Riverwalk, and we'll be able to walk to a couple of the functions we've got to go to. But to get some extra practice time in, we'll have to hop on a bus and head over. And luckily, Coach Sampson and Coach Popovich with the Spurs are good friends, so we'll get to go out to the Spurs practice facility and get away from some of the chaos downtown and focusing on Duke out at their practice facility.
And we know how important Juwan Roberts is. You talked about him being limited due to fouls, but he played I thought a really nice second half once he was on the floor. Uzon has been tremendous since transferring. Sharp was really big with his shot making in the second half. We know how good a player Crier's been for you the last 2 years since coming over from Baylor. But I thought in the first half, the guy that settled y'all down offensively and allowed y'all to separate and build that big lead was Terrence Arsenault. I thought his shot making was tremendous in the first half, Coach.
Yeah, you're right. When J1 came out of the game, Terrence came in and he was able to isolate. Coach ran some isolation plays for him, and he was able to knock down a couple threes and take his guy off the dribble and create some opportunities for us and kind of keep Tennessee back on their heels. It was really good to see for our team. In the first game, LJ Crier against Purdue, I think he scored 2 or 4 points and had a terrible shooting night, and we were still able to win on which should be on the shining moment at the end there with the out of bounds play that we ran.
Beautiful.
What a play. Yeah, and then the next night, like you said, Roberts doesn't really contribute in the first half, but we're still able to have a commanding lead. He comes back off the bench and offensively, and then second half gives us some punch. So we've got some depth, and we've got some different guys that can do some things for us, and it's a different guy on a different night. But when you get to this point in time, you really need everybody playing their best if you want to advance.
I thought a great thing from Kelvin after the game was that I'm glad you brought up the beautiful inbounds play, because I had people texting me, "Wow, that's as good an inbounds play as I've ever seen." That wasn't even the first read on it. What a great executed play for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing there was Casey Beard had the scout assistant, and Purdue guards out of bounds a certain way. And if you watch the first half, they put their All-American on the ball, and they call it rabbit, and he basically takes the guy who gets open, who's getting screened, and so they did that the whole first half. We struggled a little bit, and because the officials were reviewing the out of bounds, which was ridiculous because it's obviously out on Purdue, we got an extra 3 minutes. We got an extra 3 minutes to talk about it, and we knew that they were going to send Smith over there. The fortunate thing for us was that their big guy didn't do what he was supposed to do, and he kind of helped a little bit on LJ, and that allowed JoJo Tugler to get open. And once he got open, there was nobody guarding Milo, so that's why we won. And I had a chance to talk to Coach Painter after the game, and basically he said his guys missed their assignments and helped us out.
So what you're saying, Coach, is you love the video reviews every 2 minutes.
No, I don't. And it's amazing how certain officials get on those video reviews more than others. They love their TV time.
Amen to that. And Coach, we appreciate the time. But before we let you go, we don't want you to give away your game plan for Duke. But what are the core things you have to do to win this game and play Monday night?
The thing that I like is that since we've kind of started the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament, Coach has basically told our guys that we don't need to do anything but be who we are. We watch teams that play and the teams that don't advance, they try and be someone they're not. And so all we're going to focus on is defending, rebounding, and taking care of the basketball. Obviously there's going to be some things that we've got to fine tune as far as guarding Cooper Flag and keeping offense. But if we play Cougar basketball, we'll have an opportunity to win. There's no guarantees in it, but we'll have an opportunity.
Well, and then I'm going to ask this on Scott's behalf because I saw this. I thought it was a neat moment when you guys took the team photo. Can you give us a Jim Nance story? Because we know Scott loves his Jim Nance.
That was so cool, Coach.
Yeah, Jim follows the Cougs. Obviously, he was a student here. He had us last year where basically he was first round and second round and kind of following us through because it was his last year.
Right.
He had announced he was just gonna stick to golf and football. But he's a big fan. My family gets excited when he comes to the game because a lot of times he sits next to him, and my son Joe has gotten to know him. Nance has come to some practices and talks to the team, and he's a big fan of ours. So hopefully we'll see him in San Antonio. He's got his lucky sweatshirt on, so he says we never lose when he has that sweatshirt on. So hopefully he's got that on Saturday night.
I'm sure he will.
Awesome.
Well, that's an awesome story. Thank you, Coach, and good luck to the Cougars, and we thank you for the time.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bobby Champagne, kind enough to join us again.
I had to bring that up because I know you.
No, that was some. I mean, I tell you what, though, that's some good inside stuff there. Number one, Purdue dropped the ball on the inbounds pass, so to speak.
Yeah.
Number two, that they're going to get to use the San Antonio Spurs training facility
You know, 'cause he
in
spent some
Houston.
time, Kelvin spent time after, he was, let go by Indiana, and he spent some time in the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks and others. So he's very well versed in the National Basketball Association. So they get a chance to watch Victor Wembanyama. Got that one right too.
I think he's hurt though.
He is. He'll be rehabbing probably,
But coach doesn't like the video reviews and certain officials.
I don't like certain officials either. There's a couple of them on that list that are in the Final Four that I think is ridiculous.
Doug Shows?
Ding, ding, ding. That's one of them. Probably Terrence Oglesby, another one. Or Terry Oglesby.
Yeah, Terry Oglesby's on there. Tony
Terrence
Padilla,
Oglesby.
Doug Simons is on there. Keith Kimball.
That's actually Doug Sermon.
Sermon's my bad.
I
didn't look at the R.
But Oglesby, I don't think is worth 10 damn cents.
Michael Irving is in there. Ronald Grover, Courtney Green, Roger Ayers.
I would say Padilla and Oglesby and Chow's. Who did they pay off to get there?
Got to get a break in. We got to pay off some people.
If they pay $2,000 to get in, I don't.
We'll be right back.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still showing that wreck in Jackson County. Alabama 79 at County Road 23. That's in Scottsboro. May take a few minutes before that one's clear, but it should be getting close now. Everything else should be in order. You be careful on the rest of your trip in. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Insulation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belt, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Von Braun Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
We had Bobby Champagne on, Director of Strategy and Basketball Operations for the Houston Cougars.
Yep.
They're headed to the Final Four. Yesterday, we had Bill Armstrong on, new head coach from McNeese State.
Then breaking news after our show.
I sent that to you. You had already known, but Robbie Coker, who was at Plainview forever,
10 years,
and then went to Fort Payne this past year, is now on the staff at McNeese State.
He was at Fort Payne the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And he took a job as an assistant on Bill Armstrong's staff. He resigned at Fort Payne. Coach Robbie Coker will be a part of that McNeese State Cowboy staff. And they go back to their days together at Ole Miss under Andy Kennedy when Robbie Coker, I believe, was the video guy and was on the support staff at Ole Miss before coming back to Alabama, being a Crossville native, and then taking the job at Plainview and rebuilding that program into a 3A and power and leaving Cade Cunningham or excuse me, Cade Willingham, pardon me. I've got Cunningham's on my brain here because Nas Cunningham transferred, but Cade Willingham, his former player on that 2018 championship team, who came over from Cold Springs, took the job, and this past year got Plainview to the 4A state championship game. And so Cade's doing a great job from his coaching tree, but Robbie Coker, he spent 10 years at Plainview, the last 2 at Fort Payne. He was turning that program around, but he's already been on the college level. He's a high-level head coach. There's no question about that. I know we had him on the show several times when he was at Plainview, and I always said that I thought they had one of the top 10 programs regardless of class in the state of Alabama while he was there winning his state championships for the Bears. And now he's going back to the college level with Bill Armstrong. Congratulations to him. He was always very kind to us, and I'm sure he's super excited for he and his family to get to move to the college level and try to start moving up the ladder with Bill Armstrong at a place you can win. As Bill Armstrong told us yesterday, he's as excited, thinks it's as good as any one bid league job in the country. And of course, they're going to be in the Southland Conference, and we know what Will Wade did the last 2 years before moving on to NC State.
All right, we are just about done with hour 1 of the show. Coming up in hour 2, David Sisk will join us. Get a kind of a summary on Kentucky's first year under Mark Pope and his thoughts on the Final Four.
He's seen all these teams because we know Kentucky beat Duke.
Yeah. Well, that's hour 1 done. We've got to talk Major League Baseball, and we've got to talk the Atlanta Braves. I know. It's like going for a root canal right now, but we've got to pull it out, and we've got to talk about it a little bit. And got some college football news to throw out there as well. It's hour 2, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's BSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
A rough start to the season for the Atlanta Braves. They're 0-5 after losing 6-1 in Los Angeles against the Dodgers on Monday. If that's not bad enough, outfielder Jurickson Profar suspended for 80 games under the league's performance-enhancing drugs policy. He's able to return at the end of June, but if Atlanta makes the postseason, Profar won't be eligible to play. The Braves continue their series tonight at Los Angeles. Dustin May gets the nod for the Dodgers. Chris Sale scheduled to get the start for Atlanta. The Braves plus 145 on the money line. The Dodgers minus 175. Auburn basketball 2.5-point underdogs for this Saturday's Final Four matchup against Florida. I'm Chuck Sanders on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us kick off hour number 2, 256-881-5151. If you want to experience that Sportsmed difference, sportsmedalabama.com. Give them a call. They can help you for all those nicks and bruises. They're the official medical providers for the UAH Chargers and the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And the one thing they cannot get you out of is PEDs. They can't get you out of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The Atlanta Braves, by the way, yesterday taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. In case you've not heard, the Dodgers have a ginormous payroll, and they're the defending World Series champions. Braves
might
lose.
go 162-0.
Yeah, the Braves lose 6-1 yesterday. Thank goodness Michael Harris homered in the 8th inning because they'd went 29 straight innings without scoring before that home run. Bad news is the Braves are now 0-5 to start the year. For just the 8th time in franchise history, by the way, and for the first time since 2016, which was the year that Brian Snitker replaced Freddie Gonzalez.
And I think
after
they had
the
a losing
team,
season, I think.
After the team started 9-28 that year.
Yeah, that year, that was the last really horrendous year for the Braves.
Yeah. Well, so that was the day, okay? That was the day. 0-5, you lose 6-1. Hey, you lost to the Dodgers 6-1, no big deal. A lot of teams are going to lose to the Dodgers this year in a game or two. Not going to happen. It's not anything to be like, okay. Well, then the big news comes. The Atlanta Braves signed one big bat this offseason. One big bat.
One.
He gone. He gone. And not just gone, he's gone for 80 games.
Yeah.
Yes.
For misremembering.
Profar gone. So
It's Jurickson, isn't that right?
Jurickson, Jurickson Profar. Yes.
I hadn't even learned how to pronounce his damn name. He's already gone.
He tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just call it HCG.
Yeah.
It's a fertility drug often taken after steroids. It is the same drug that Manny Ramirez was suspended 50 games for back in 2009.
So, see, that's why I always see these apologies, and it's always the same thing. Like, I was totally unaware. I passed 8 tests, blah, blah, blah. I don't know whether you took some masking agent or whatever to.
Basically, I think that's what this is. This is a fertility drug after you take steroids. I'd imagine to mask the steroids that you are taking.
I'm sure as hell hope that's not the reason he hit 22 home runs or whatever and had the career season. Because if it is, the Braves are screwed.
They signed him to a 3-year, $42 million deal in January.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, the only free agent they signed to a multi-year contract during the offseason. They put him in left field. They penciled him in as a starter, and now he is gone for 80 games. It gets worse for the Braves. If somehow Atlanta is able to make the playoffs, Profar cannot play in the playoffs for the Atlanta Braves.
Now.
He is done for the postseason if the Braves get there. So he will sit out 80 games. He can come back and play for the regular season, but he cannot play in the postseason for Atlanta.
And I know our great friend Bill Shanks, love him. He was telling everybody, this was before all this came out, to calm down after the 0-4 start. But it's hard now to get excited because, you know, there's still Ronald Acuna will come back sometime in May, I would imagine.
Yes.
But, you're
0-5. You've lost your free agent, big signing.
Lopez just went on the disabled list.
Yeah.
Rodrigo, or whoever the hell.
It
was going to be your one in your starting rotation. Had a great year last year, but he's now done for a while. You didn't re-sign Max Fried. He went to the evil empire known as the Yankees. And so it just doesn't look good. Now, Brian, I'm not going to blame everything on Brian Snitker. Everybody always gets all over Snitker.
Right. And you're going to have 5-game losing skids during the season sometimes,
Well,
you have 4 or 5.
But I mean, it looks really bad right now. It just really does. The bullpen doesn't look very good.
Right.
Hector Neris has already been freaking, because he stunk so bad in his opening appearance. They've already gotten rid of him, brought back the old man Jesse Chavez, who death taxes and Jesse Chavez. He just keeps rolling. But I mean, it's
good
tough.
news is, though, after this series with the Dodgers, you come home, you have 6 home games in a row.
Yeah.
You've got 3 against the Marlins,
who are in first place right now, or at least
you got 3 against the Phillies,
who have beaten the hell out of you most of the time.
And then you go back on the road at Tampa, which is,
where the hell would that be again?
It's in Florida. They're playing at the Yankee spring training facility.
I didn't know.
And then you have the Blue Jays, and then you're back home with the Twins and the Cardinals. So month of April, you've got teams that you can turn this around. You got winnable ball games on the schedule. Don't hit the panic button yet. Have your hand hovering over it, but don't hit the panic button yet. 0-5, you can overcome 0-5.
Well, I just got sent a text, and I wasn't, monitoring the accounts. And honestly, I did watch a little bit Sunday, but it was so brutally bad, I stopped watching. And then I wasn't watching last night when it started at 9:00 at night, because the Profar information had already been broken. A good friend of mine in the media, young reporter, Will Miller, had sent me word that, Jurickson was going to be done, not just, for 80 games, but the playoffs as well. He was not going to be really a factor this year. Let's just tell it like it is.
Right.
And then they started struggling. And then and Mark Bowman has covered the Braves since 2001. And I was just told that things were getting so bleak yesterday before the Harris home run, that Bowman said 2 innings before he hit this home run that it's been so long since the Braves scored that Kentucky was still playing. I didn't say it. I was just sent that.
Kind
of apropos, since we're going to talk to David Sisk.
We are going to talk to David Sisk, but there you go. There's your Atlanta Braves news.
There's a former offensive coordinator from Alabama, Brian Dable, on the screen. He's got to win to keep his job.
He does. They got to get a draft pick right, though.
Yeah,
they've got to nail this draft pick, do the Giants. And we got plenty of time before the draft. We got a whole dumb month before the draft.
Well, isn't it? No, I don't.
It's in April, isn't it?
Yeah, it's late April. So
we're almost a month. I mean,
yeah.
By the way, today is April 1st.
It is.
April Fool's, by the way.
And none of this that we've said, nothing we have said is April Fool's Day.
Nothing that we have said with the Atlanta Braves is an April Fool's joke.
Unfortunately.
That would be cruel.
Right.
That would not be kind.
No, we're not going to tell you that, Del Murphy made the Hall of Fame.
The April Fool's joke would be the fact that the Chicago White Sox have scored 19 runs and have only given up 5 this year and are 2-2 on the season.
They have more wins than the Braves.
They have more wins than the Braves.
How humiliating is that?
They have more runs than the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, that's so bad.
Against the Twins last night.
Oh,
they have more runs and wins.
And that's not an April Fool's joke either.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's bad.
Maybe you can hit the button.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
256-576-4977 if you want to join us on the show this morning.
Yeah.
Also, by the way,
we thought it was an April Fool's joke early yesterday. Did you not see the headline by Coastal Carolina?
No. Oh, yes.
And it was real, I think. We think it was.
I don't know. I really don't know. So here
that wasn't the first. It was. They released this on the 31st, man.
They did release it on the 31st.
Yeah,
and
I was even told like I could just see Drew doing that. You know what I'm saying?
So here is what Coastal Carolina put out yesterday.
Yeah.
Take a listen to this. This is the video that Coastal Carolina football put out yesterday. I got to connect it to the button here. It just disconnected me. Let's connect you back. And here we go.
What's up, boss? Hey, how's it going? Good. What's the damage? Free. Well, what about for this? Free as well. Free. All of it free. You want some nachos? Yeah. Free too. All free. Free. Can I get 50 of these? Yeah. Free. What about a drink? All of it. Free. Have 2 drinks. Drinks? Ooh. And all a hot dog. Yeah. Hot dog's free too? All free. There you go. Free. Sweet.
That's right, Teal Nation. This fall in Brooks Stadium, every fan, every game, always free. Free concessions, popcorn, nachos, hot dog, fountain drinks, and water for every fan this fall. Come out to Brooks Stadium, get your tickets now, and cheer on the Shots. Go Shots.
So fans get 4 items per concession visit.
Yeah.
Hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, fountain drinks with no limit on the number of in-game visits.
Yeah.
Free.
Free.
And
we don't think this is fake.
They did it on the 31st. They announced it on the 31st. They didn't announce it today.
Yeah. So you pay for your ticket and you're going to be able to eat all game.
Are you?
I don't know. Are they going to run out? Because people will be making, I don't know how many trips. That's the thing I want to know.
But as you wake up today on April 1st, is this an April 1st joke?
I don't think so. It seemed legit. I'm sorry. I mean, that's a way to draw fans. I mean, they pay for the ticket, but they get free food. Now, the only problem is how much food you're going to have.
If this is a joke, the whole entire sports media world has bought into this. Brett McMurphy says free concessions at Coastal Carolina games. Genius marketing move. They are 1-0 to start the year.
I was told by a good friend of our show, Jay from Athens. He said this was our late great friend Bama Zach. That was his his favorite mantra. You know, you can't get free is that's the best thing you can have. Everything tastes better when it's free.
Josh Pate, our good friend Josh Pate says, "Could I see a menu?"
There you go.
I mean, if this is for real, this is amazing.
Yeah. We need to have Josh on before Alabama and Auburn's A-Day and just ask him, is the Pate State Freight, is it on the way to Coastal Carolina this fall?
Well, I'd go just for a free hot dog.
The Josh Pate College Football Show. Are we going to see the Saturday tour end up with the Shants in South Carolina?
And I mean, okay, and they're saying yes, and in bold caps, yes, it is real.
It's real.
Ticket holding fans can pick up 4 free items at each visit to a concession stand and make unlimited trips to those stands as long as they scan through using the new Coastal Carolina Athletics app, which will be launched soon.
Oh, so that you have to be a ticket holder.
You've got to be a ticket holder.
So I wonder if you're a visiting fan, does that count?
I don't know. And now, I mean, this is 38 minutes ago.
And now ESPN just.
Yes, it's real. It is not. The school has confirmed this morning it is real. It is not an April Fool's gag. The school has just confirmed it about 30 minutes ago. Other items, including alcohol and specialty items, will still be available to buy. The school says, quote, unquote, our fans are the heartbeat of Teal Nation. We're always looking for ways to elevate the game day experience. And this is one of them. We're excited to offer free concessions this fall as a way to say thank you for the energy, passion, and support they bring to Brooks Stadium every game. 6 home games this year. You can go to East Carolina, Louisiana Monroe, Marshall, Georgia State, and James Madison. Those are the 6 home games that it'll be offered. But yes, it is real. Coastal Carolina.
We know that for their season ticket holders. We don't know.
Like if you're a visiting fan.
Yeah, visiting.
But I imagine if you have a ticket and you download the app and you have it on the app, you get hot dogs and nachos and water and Cokes.
Probably be better than what we have at Alabama.
Well, it's free.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Bryant Denny said, if everybody there inside Bryant Denny, guess what, folks? You're going to get you can get free concessions at Bryant Denny Stadium.
Good Lord.
Or Jordan Air Stadium.
You don't have to pay $16 for a cheeseburger.
Don't have to pay. Well, no, I imagine cheeseburgers would probably not be on it.
Probably not.
If you just limited it to hot dogs, pretzels, popcorn,
and
Cokes, and waters, and you said and nachos for free as many times as you want, but you get 4 items per visit, but you can come back as many times as you want.
This would probably be about like it was when Alabama played at Texas and they ran out of everything by halftime.
You run out of hot dogs and nachos.
That's what I was told, man. I was told the whole thing was just an absolute bleep show. And I didn't say it on the air. I know
your beep.
Yeah, it was an absolute crap show.
I wish I need to get Moulton or Tokyo to get that clip for us from Les Studeman.
Yeah.
Where she says, I know my blank, and we needed to get it beeped so we can just play it whenever we want to.
We've already got one. A stinger from Tommy Murr last week, one of the greats of all time. You know, like we forgot that. I hope that their All-Star game was better than an NBA one. I forgot to.
I don't. Yeah, I didn't get to look. We'll look and see.
He said
here.
we don't need to stand around like we're dumb and them.
All right, we got to go to the concession stand and get some hot dogs and nachos.
Everybody said they wondered how many trips I'd make.
How many would you make?
At least 2.
At least 2.
Yeah. Have to.
See, I'd probably make.
Oh, you make more
4.
than I.
I'd probably make 4.
I couldn't stuff myself like that.
I mean, the water though. I mean, if I could get 3 or 4 bottles of water at a time, that'd be great. And then a couple hot dogs here and a couple hot dogs there, and some nachos.
That's a little jingle there. Hot dogs here, hot dogs there, and nachos here. We've already been through something like this at the freaking at Mercedes-Benz where you ate everything.
Dude, that was the greatest.
To eat something.
That was the greatest day.
Good.
That was the greatest day of food in my life.
Oh my God.
That was the greatest day of food in my life.
Because I could barely walk.
There was no need for dinner that night, even though we did find dinner.
I still think you had dinner.
Even though we still found dinner.
God.
I still found pizza. I still found the free pizza after that too, though, by the way. It was the greatest day of food ever.
Wow.
Ever. Never will I have another day of food like that.
I wouldn't think so.
When they say they roll out the red carpet at the Super Bowl, they roll out the red carpet. Got to get a break in. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck, 565 eastbound at the Greenbrier exit. They are reporting possible injuries there. Already working one, 565 around mile marker 1. That one came in as a no injury. And we got a dump truck that's pulled some wires down in Decatur. That's around Davis and Wilson. No hoses, no mask. Dr. Sandman has the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin is at 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Panda season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Panda season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Insulation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
We are your home for March Madness.
Baker 3 will go. Loose. Scrum. Hunter. Drive. Lays it in at the buzzer. It's not enough. McGee's for the upset.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here we go. We're being rickrolled. Oh, boy. We're no strangers to love. We are no strangers to love. Let's go out to the phone lines. Oh, by the way, do you know the last team? If you draw a line from Texas on up to the United States, just draw a straight line all the way up. Do you know the last team west of that line to win a college basketball national championship?
No.
UCLA in 1997.
95. It was 95 for UCLA.
Was it 95?
They beat Arkansas.
Yes.
Arkansas was trying to repeat. It was
Jim
Ed
Herrick.
O'Bannon, Charles O'Bannon, that crew, Toby Bailey. They won the night. That was UCLA's last championship. Now, Ben Howland got to a few Final Fours, but he never won it with UCLA. So, and Mark Godfrey was on that staff with the Bruins, and they had a great basketball team, and they beat Arkansas and won the national championship. 1995, the Bruins, the last time they won it.
My bad. 97, Arizona. Arizona is the last
beat
team.
Kentucky in overtime.
Yep. Arizona is the last team in 97 to win one. That's the last team, I guess you could say, west of that Texas line. If you put where Baylor's at west, that's the last team to win one on the West. And that streak will not end this year because
there you go.
With Houston in it, Auburn, Florida, and Duke, it'll be along the eastern part or the Midwest part. Let's go to the phone lines. Brandon is with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning.
Morning.
So y'all were talking food and stadiums, so I sent y'all a picture on Twitter
Yeah,
So
Twin
when
Smokers
SEC
Barbecue.
Media,
Yeah.
yeah, when SEC Media Days get here, I'm gonna hook Scott up with the dinosaur rib. You get one bone.
One bone, huh?
And if you check that picture out, you see why you only need one.
I would think it looks like
Is it big?
Scott, come on.
I didn't get it.
It's on Twitter. He tagged us.
Oh, it's on Twitter.
Yeah, X. You'll see it.
That lady right there with the knife, she is the queen of the smoke.
Yeah, it's definitely
That's the one
a
bone?
dinosaur rib. Yeah.
That's the one bone. That's the dinosaur rib.
So can most
Oh, I
people
can
just
eat
eat
that.
one? Oh, Scott can eat it.
I could eat that.
Have you eaten one of
it's
them
so
before?
good. I bought one and ate some of it for lunch and took it home, and then me and my son finished eating the rest of it the next day. So that's
wow.
I can't do that. That's too much for me.
I could go with. I mean, that'd be perfect with some mashed potatoes and some broccoli. And
Well, see, now what he's going to do is, as Google rocks, he's going to Google it and probably look up the sides that they serve.
I do need to see how big. How big though is it?
2 pounds and something.
Wow.
Twin Smokers Barbecue. All right, we'll have to figure this one out.
Then some collard greens and some cracklings and some macaroni and some brisket chili. Oh, it's some good stuff.
It's in downtown Atlanta, so that's why you were saying go there, because it's in downtown Atlanta.
It's literally when you're at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
When you're there, if you turn left going north and walk down to the corner 100 feet, cross the block there and go another 100 feet, and it's right next door to Stats.
It's a
Oh, there we go.
dinosaur
We've been to
beef
Stats.
rib.
I've been to Stats, yeah.
It's $32 for each rib.
32 per rib.
32 each. Yes, dinosaur beef rib is $32 each for the rib.
Wow.
Best sweet tea in town. They've got some banana pudding that's no meringue, and it is just smooth as silk.
What are you trying to do? Send me to the hospital? I mean, do they have unsweet?
Yes, they do have unsweet, and they've got every adult beverage you could think of.
Oh boy.
They have jalapeno cornbread. Oh, it's amazing.
Jalapeno cornbread sounds good.
I damn near killed you when we were in Atlanta one time. I gave you a sugar
Whoa.
cookie that you should not have eaten.
That thing was potent, dude.
Well, it's hard to think, but we're what, 90 or 100 days from SEC Media Days?
Yeah, we're getting there. I don't know if they've officially announced the dates yet.
I don't think so. Not.
No,
days.
we know it's
Each
going to
team's
be
gonna
in
there.
Atlanta, but that's all we know.
Yep.
Well, I just wanted to put that out there to have y'all thinking about it, because I know Scott wants to plan his food for that trip. And I actually plan to make it this year. No big anniversary trip this year.
Well, the spring meetings are April 21st to April 26th.
I think that's the week of the NFL draft.
And from what I've been told, we may be there for that.
Oh, I got you.
From what I've been told.
Oh, beach house.
That's what I've been told. I don't know for sure. We need to find out today for sure.
Well,
but we may end up. We may end up there, and we may end up there.
Jahani said we had a meeting.
He's got a new name. Yes. The Czar, a.k.a. Jahani.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all go to the beach, I need some photos of Drew and Moulton building the sandcastle. So
yes.
let's make it happen.
Well,
probably got somebody else listening.
I'm not lathering that one with sunscreen, so I'll just tell you
I got
that.
you.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right, let's get in Robert real fast. Good morning, Robert. Morning, Robert.
What's up, man?
Hey, how y'all doing?
We're doing good.
man.
I've got a solution for this. This is a little off topic, but the review process for basketball, or maybe even football as well.
Yeah.
How long they take, my God, especially towards the end of games. The television crew already has a rules analyst guy. They already see the replay. Why does it take the on-court officials to go over there, make an announcement, and then review the call when they could have people on the sidelines doing that anyway and let them stay out on the court, and then make the call, and that's what it is. Was it right or was it wrong? And then move forward. It should take only maybe 10 seconds.
Well, it should. And here's the thing. Most of the time when you get to these tournament games, there is an official that is sitting there next to the review system, and they are kind of going over everything. And when the officials come over to do this review, they're telling them, okay, this is what we're reviewing. That official will write it down and everything else. That official sitting there at the table should already be reviewing those plays. So when they do come over, we already have an answer.
Totally. So it doesn't need to be a big dramatic and basically a long extra timeout.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sort of killing the flow of the game, really.
Well, and coaches now, I mean, they hate it. They despise it. But I guarantee you, Kelvin Sampson loved the fact that he had an extra 30 seconds to tell his team about what to look for on an inbounds play because of the extra timeout that they were getting because of the review.
Yeah, and see, Robert and I are going to be in agreement here, too. We both are just huge fans of ESPN baseball and Carl Ravitch. I mean, I'm so glad ESPN's probably going to lose Major League Baseball. These broadcasts are so bad.
Would that just add insult to your injury if Carl Ravitch did this Braves game and they go for 0 for 6 and you had to listen to Ravitch?
These interviews during the inning, they're so stupid.
Oh,
what are you doing?
And Robert, I know we're way off topic here, but why not? The interviews now that CBS is doing for the players in game or whatever, they've got to stop those. The coaches ones are okay. But doing the pregame with the players or halftime with the players, stop it.
Yeah,
they've got to stop.
I think this player thing. Yeah, this player thing. I can't even understand what they're saying, and I don't. Why did they switch to that? I mean, are they trying to get more?
I don't know.
Information or something like that. The coaches, are going to give the coach speak.
Right.
I can tell you, as being a coach, I'm not coming over anywhere during the middle of the game and giving an interview to somebody that doesn't need to know what I'm thinking about. I mean,
I don't agree.
That's why at half we do at UAH, we just do the halftime one.
Yeah, they should.
Coaches are gracious enough to do as their
we do it, and then after the game, whoever wins.
That's it.
And then I think that should be it.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Robert.
We got to get a break in. David Sisk will join us next.
He's better than Carl Ravitch.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s, only dropping into the upper 50s, low 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be quite warm across the area. Temperatures consistently climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Some of those could be on the strong or severe end of the spectrum. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Von Braun Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Gunnersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Mark Pope yesterday said he's never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Said he got back to the hotel. They got back to everything after Kentucky loses to Tennessee in the Sweet 16. And he said the players were just sitting around reminiscing about everything they had accomplished, everything they had gone through for the season for about 5 to 6 hours.
Wow.
They were just reminiscing and having a good time. He's like, he had never seen anything like it ever. But he said that team, his first Kentucky team was special because they were together.
Yeah, and we're going to talk Kentucky basketball and the NCAA tournament, the Final Four with our next guest. One of the best basketball minds that we always touch base with this time of year. He does a great job covering the Kentucky Wildcats for Cats Illustrated and Tar Heel Illustrated, part of the Rivals Network. It was great to see him in the freezer known as Nashville Bridgestone Arena, because they had the media up top this year.
And they had the ice probably still down.
Well, they did, but they had the air conditioning was right on top.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, in the perts we were up. It was great to see Coach David Sisk, and he's been kind enough to join us and talk about Kentucky in this offseason under Mark Pope, and talk about this Final Four coming up. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you? Thanks for bringing up that memory.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. We had a good time though in Nashville, and but this speaking of memories, this Kentucky team I think struck a chord with the fan base and is going to be very, very fondly remembered. Maybe not quite like the '92 group, but it's one that the fans really I think got attached to.
Yeah, they did, and I think the things you were talking about is pretty neat that they were able to do that, and pretty impressive that they were able to really play together and be together the way they were, thinking about none of them had ever played together before. I mean, it was just it was a team full of free agents.
Yeah.
Who a lot of them came in for 1 year, and I just thought that was always impressive. It'll depend how well they're thought of. I think will depend on the future of how well Coach Pope does. If it's something that doesn't work out, then it's probably not going to be in the memory bank the way it would be if he really gets things rolling up there, and then you can look back and say, hey, this is the team that started it. So, all that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, he put that team together with pieces.
Yeah.
What pieces, though, does he have to look forward to next year. And
how much different will this team look?
And how much is it going to look compared to, going forward?
Yeah, he had a lot of fifth-year guys, man. Half that team was grad transfers.
Right.
So, you're going to get Oweh back. I'm trying to think. You're going to have the freshman. You're going to have Otega Oweh. There's talk whether or not Garrison will be back or not. Then you're going into the portal.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 pretty good recruits coming in.
Yeah.
They got a 7-footer in Marino, but you know how those are. Those guys are young; they take a little bit of time. But Jasper Johnson is I think Alabama was one of the 3 finalists for him.
Mm-hmm.
Good guard. It just depends on how the freshmen come along. Then, you're going to have to hit the portal, and he's shown a good track record of doing that. So it's weird. It's not like you used to say in SEC football where football coach had to be there 4 or 5 years to stack classes on each other. It's you're not doing that in basketball right now. You're just trying to repiece. I heard somebody say you don't rebuild now in college basketball or reload. You're just trying to build a brand new roster every year.
Well, and my bracket is pretty good. I got 3 of the Final 4 correct. The only one I didn't get was Tennessee. Houston beat them, and I had them playing the regional finals. How did your bracket play out? And then what about this star-studded Final 4? Only the second time since 2008 we've had 4 number 1s.
Well, I had the same thing you had, evidently. I had 7 out of 8.
Yeah, me too. St. John's was my only one that fell short.
I had 3 out of 4. I had Tennessee as well. And I guess I just got to admit it here. We do Houston a pretty big disservice when you go back and think about it. And I was listening to John Fana, those guys last night on Field of 68. That's what I usually do when I shave at night, clean up. And,
there you go.
Anyway, they were. He was talking. He made a great point. He said, and I didn't realize this. Houston is 30-1 their last 31 games in the Big 12.
Wow.
And he said, if Kansas was 30-1 and in the Big 12, let's change brands and let's put Kansas in place of Houston, and they were playing Duke this weekend, that would be an all-timer.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think, and he said, if we just put another brand on that, and I think that's true. And I think I shortchanged them, and, they just absolutely just put the hammer on. They punked them out as soon as it started. So, man, it was really impressive with, the way they defend, just how hard-nosed they are under Kevin Sampson. I know you had Bobby Champagne on earlier. My daughter was at UNA when he was coaching down there. So, it's good to see him enjoying the success that he has.
Yeah. And so with that being said, Houston comes in one of the best defensive teams. They've played the best defense in the tournament so far, holding opponents to less than 55 points a contest. You got Duke coming in, scoring over 90 a contest in those tournament games. It's a rock fight. It's a style fight in that matchup. Who has the edge?
Well, Duke's also one of the Alabama saw it. They're one of the best 2-3 defenses in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put them right there. They do it a little differently, but they've just got so much size. And I look at Duke, and obviously Cooper Flagg gets the attention. Man, I think Malawatch is the big deal on that team because at 7'2", he just camps out. You just can't get in there and shoot over him.
Right.
And Alabama, they ran them off a 3-point line. It took about 4 possessions for me to see, probably all of us to see. I'm no genius whatsoever, to look at it and say, man, Alabama's in trouble. This is a bad matchup because, they run you off a 3-point line, and then you get to the rim, and they've got all that length in the back. I look at Houston, and they do some things. I think they're going to shoot the mid-range more. They're really good on the offensive glass. They're going to have to do that. I think L.J. Cryer is going to have a huge game. I think everything's going to have to go right for them. I think the one thing they can do, and I may be the only person talking about this because I saw North Carolina do it against them. And I know North Carolina was down in the game, so maybe Duke dropped the intensity a little bit. But when North Carolina came out in the second half of those games when they were behind, and they put in the defensive pressure full court, nobody's doing that to Duke. They put the full court pressure in them. They struggle a little bit handling the ball, and you could watch them really get shaky. So I think that's what Houston's going to do. I think they're going to extend the defense. They're going to try to see if they can get the ball up the floor, if they can turn them over, get some pick sixes. And so I'm interested to see how they handle that. But I think Duke on the other end are so big on the perimeter. I think LJ Crier's 6'1". I think they're going to go at him the same way they went at Mark Sears.
They really
and
did.
I think they're going to just kind of pick him out and just really try to attack him when they've got the ball. I mean, I've got to go with Duke. I mean, there's somebody proves different. They really look the part right now.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we know Auburn and Florida. The Gators got them in Neville, but Florida's had a tumultuous run. They had Walter Clayton Jr. was Superman twice against UConn, and then he and Thomas Howell were, of course, kind of Batman and Robin when it came to coming back against the Texas Tech team that I think we all undervalued. But your thoughts on Auburn and the Gators in the rematch, and now Elijah Martin will be on the floor for Florida.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I was going to ask you. I couldn't remember his name, man. You were reading my mind because that's what I was going to say. But Elijah Martin or Hangloat, neither one didn't play at Auburn.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
him as well, yeah.
Yeah, Hangloat hadn't got back yet. So, you know, they beat them at Auburn without Elijah Martin. So that's impressive. I'm going to tell you, if I picked Florida to win it. You were sitting there when I was.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Ole Miss on Thursday night. And I said, this is the best team I've seen. Or Friday, rather. I said, this is the best team that I've seen. But they haven't shown what they showed in the SEC tournament yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been lucky twice. I mean, well, I shouldn't say lucky, but I'm telling you what, they absolutely could have lost easily Texas Tech. We know what kind of comeback that was, but UConn could have beat them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they have not turned that on yet. And the thing that always kind of bothered me, and I've said this during the year, and one thing that bothered me about them was just kind of how they would fool around at times and not play their best. They would do that in stretches. And remember, there's no reason for them to get behind against South Carolina and Georgia like they did. That's kind of stuck out with me. I think we've kind of seen that. They're going to have to, if they're not coming out on the roll, then I've made the wrong pick here. But I'm just curious about Broome.
Mm-hmm.
What I listen to college basketball people, and nobody's saying anything. I don't know if you guys have heard anything, but it's very quiet around that injury, and people are picking games. The experts are picking games, and they're not even talking about his injury really. And I just think that's kind of weird. But
yeah, Bruce Pearl.
I mean, we all know you're there in the state of Alabama, and I think we all know if Broome's not healthy, man, that hurts their chances significantly.
Oh,
yeah,
it does.
Bruce Pearl said yesterday that they were not going to practice yesterday, that they're going to practice today. Janai will not practice today. But he said yesterday in an interview that he will be available and he will play on Saturday. Now, in what form he'll play, that we don't know yet.
Yeah, you could knock me over with a feather if he didn't play.
Yeah.
But, he came back out and played Sunday. But so, I figured that was a slam dunk that he would. But like you say, the capacity that he's in, how healthy he is, that's the issue. And they've got to, I should rephrase that, they've got to have a healthy John Broome. And he makes such a difference. And if they do win this game and they play Duke, the one thing I would look at with Duke is who can pull them off the floor, who can pull Malawatz rather out onto the floor and get him away from that rim. I think you've got to have a pick and pop 5. Mm-hmm. Now, they would probably try to put him over on Cardwell, and then that changes the game. But if you could get that lineup mixed a little bit where he's on Broome could get him outside, I think you could attack Duke's defense. So, he's got to be – of course, you've got to get to a great Florida team first. And I like the way Florida builds that, has built that roster, kind of like Dean Smith used to do at North Carolina. He used to always say, man, you got to have 4 post players and be too deep at each spot. And they are, and they've got 4 really good ones. And Thomas Howell, I thought he was
he's
watching him up at the SEC tournament, man. I thought, man, he is really, really good. I did not realize how good he was. I think he's their best big, and he's even better than Alex Condon. And man, he's come out. He really showed it over the weekend.
And I've got Florida and Duke in the finals. Is that what you're leaning toward right now?
Yeah, well, I did. I had, and I think if I'm a Duke or an Auburn fan, I'm a lot more nervous than I am right now, simply because of that injury.
Right.
I'm not so sure Auburn can't get them if he's just not healthy. I just don't like the way Florida's played.
Mm-hmm.
I think sooner or later, man, you kind of goof around for about 35 minutes and then try to pull it out the last 5. It's going to come back and get you. But now I'll say this: the one thing, and if you're Florida, you can kind of go into this Final Four and say, against whoever you play, if you can just keep this thing close, man, we've got the guy with a clutch gene. I mean, if there's a closer in this world right now, it's Clayton. So, but I have Florida and Duke, but I will say this: if Broome, he comes out and he looks 90%, 95%, 100%, he's miraculously healed some way. I really like Auburn. I just like the way they're playing. I've liked them all year up until we got into the postseason. So if he's healthy, I think that is a great, great game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Well, Coach, we appreciate it. We thank you for your Final Four thoughts. Enjoy it this weekend. And I'm sure we'll catch up soon as the Kentucky builds their roster, even North Carolina as well. It's a big offseason for Hubert Davis with their new general manager and their reconfiguration. But we always enjoy talking hoops with you and let everybody know how to follow you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I know how you guys roll. As I tell you, every spring as it gets warm, y'all will be hanging out over there at the ledges. Your real estate area there. So
that's the highfalutins. That's where we hang
Falcon
out.
Crest.
Yep,
I call
that's
it
where
Falcon
we go.
Crest.
That's where we roll.
They put that really spicy vinegar on your collard greens.
Yeah, they have words we can't pronounce.
Yeah.
So it's Coach David Fisk at Twitter, and you can follow me on the Rivals Network at the North Carolina and Kentucky site.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you.
I got to get a final break in.
And it was Jonai, not Jahani.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Wrapping up this morning with a couple of problem areas. Had Jeff and Harvest, had eastbound 565 at Greenbrier and eastbound 565 at exit 1. All of those should be getting close to being ready to clear. Also had a report of wires down in Decatur, Davis, and Wilson. Apparently a dump truck snagged those wires. The annual Bloomin' Festival, Arts, Craft, Music, and Food Festival is coming up this weekend in St. Bernard and Coleman. It's a Southeast top tourist event with over 150 artists and craftsmen. You could win a 25 Buick Encore at the Bloomin' Festival, St. Bernard and Coleman. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, your headlines are NFL based. The NFL owners have passed a rule moments ago that will allow both teams to possess the ball in overtime now during the regular season. They had proposed a 15-minute overtime session, but that's been amended to 10 minutes. So each team now will get possession of the ball in overtime during the regular season. And the competition committee today is going to vote on banning the tush push.
Okay, we know it's April Fool's, so we think this is legit.
No, that's legit. It was just happening on the screen. That is all legit. This is
Sam Walters back in
legit
Alabama
stuff.
is not legit.
Be careful on what you fall for today.
Now, it might be Sam Walters to Jack State.
Coastal Carolina giving away free food.
That is legit.
Is legit.
I would go twice. Scott would go 15 times.
Drew DeArmond to go to IHOP today?
No.
Not legit.
No.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you